Hey, how's it going there, folks? Welcome back here to a Tuesday. It is about 11:14 a.m. here, California time, August 6, 2024. Latest activity here on the globe. Let's see here. We've got a 1.5 and a 1.3 out here across the West Coast area. That's the latest activity out here on the Earthquake 3D globe. Let's go ahead and zoom in to the Southern California area where there's a handful of smaller quakes out here in the last hour lighting up across the region. Nothing big, no major swarms out here for now. Just the typical earthquake activity that Southern California sees on any given day out here. Throughout the Bay Area of Northern California, fairly quiet as well, aside from a couple of smaller quakes. In extreme Northern California, quiet. Cascadia subduction zone, quiet out there as well. A couple smaller earthquakes out there across the Cascades there in Washington. So what do we got overnight as far as larger scale movement goes? Let's take a look and see what has stirred up out here. Looks like it's going to be a 5.1 earthquake here in the Vanuatu area about 2 o'clock this morning here. So not a whole lot of larger scale activity taking place out here so far, but it's still early in the day, right? And things can get popping whenever. We're going to go out here to Hawaii, where we did see a little bit of movement out here this morning. 4-pointer. Quite odd to see a 4-pointer out here in this location. About 4 miles below the surface here. Southern flank of the Mauna Loa volcano. It's a little odd there for a 4.0. Doesn't look like anything has changed here across the area of the Kilauea volcano, although we're still getting, look at that little migration here going across the summit area off to the lower east rift zone. I think we're getting to a point here. Obviously this whole area is inflated, but we're getting to a point where we're going to see a displacement of magma, I think, here. I don't think we're going to see any eruptive activity out here. It's still a possibility, obviously, but I'm noticing more migrational earthquakes out here towards this area, which could be a sign here that we're going to see a further push of magma across this region. So let's go check out the volcano site here. I had to reset everything, get the live stream back up and running. It was down. It went down a couple hours ago, suspiciously. This is the second day in a row that the live stream has gone down by itself. So I rebooted everything, I reset all the network keys, reset everything, updated all my drivers and whatnot. A lot of times that will help and prevent these shutdowns from happening from who or whatever is behind it. So the volcano here still at a yellow and advisory. Nothing new in terms of that reading here. This update was put out yesterday from the Hawaiian Volcano Observatory on their daily update. No significant changes in ground deformation at the summit or upper to middle east rift zone. Still earthquake activity, obviously. No mention here of the 4-pointer. Of course, that popped off earlier this morning, so we'll have to wait and see what they say. But let's check out a couple seismograph stations out here and see what we got going on. Check out this one over here across the middle east rift zone area, past 12. Of course it's gonna do that. Why it does that, I don't know. Let's see here. A little bit of earthquake activity here in the last 12 hours. Nothing of any significant, swarming activity. There's still that earthquake migration that's heading off down in this area. But I wanted to see what some of these other seismograph stations look like up at the summit area. Yeah, roughly about the same. There's not a whole lot of interesting movement at the moment, aside from that 4-pointer down there across the Mauna Loa area. That's a little odd. So that happened right here, 4.7. Oh wait, that's 4.7 miles below the surface there. I was going to say, did they upgrade that right away? No seismograph stations down here that I can see. There's GPS yeah, there is a seismograph buried underneath this little star, which is a GPS station. So let's see if we can get that. There's the 4-pointer, showed up quite nicely there. This is going to be local time. It looks like about 2 in the morning, which was 5 roughly around 5 o'clock here local time in the morning AM here in California. So it doesn't look like there's been any type of swarming following that 4-pointer there in the Mauna Loa area for now. But it's an interesting quake. Far as the summit area goes and deformation, let's check this out here real quick. Leveling off here in the last few hours. This is the vertical displacement across the summit area in the past 2 days. And obviously we're still going up here. This is that magma displacement from the summit off to the upper East Rift Zone back in the end of July. And we've just been going up here in terms of inflation at the summit area once again. So just a waiting game still. Nothing changing out here for now. Let's see what else we got. There's that little odd quake yesterday in Alaska. Really nothing new to report up here for now across the Aleutian Trench, western areas of the Pacific Plate. Somewhat quiet today. There's still a few quakes on there from yesterday, but in general, this area looks a little bit less active than it normally would. Let's see here. Yeah, we got the EMSC on here as well because there's threes over here around that the Philippines area where that 6.8 struck a few days back now. But still seeing a little bit of activity, aftershock movement. Down in Australia, 4.0. Fairly new quake there. New Zealand, a couple deeper earthquakes around North Island once again. Nothing new to report, but still, it looks like this area in general wants to, or is taking its time here to adjust. Of course, within the last couple days, we've seen a little bit of activity out here across the New Zealand area, including this one here from yesterday. Yeah, this is in the Cook Strait area. 6 miles deep here for that 4.4. Hikurangi subduction zone right here. So this is a surface fracture zone, it looks like, here across the Cook Strait area. And it's just, like I say, this whole area has been getting a lot of deeper movement, some surface adjustment here. And the Hikurangi is the major stressor out here in this area in terms of dynamics and earthquakes out here. And then, of course, got the further alpine fault here across the South Island area. But that's not really a subduction zone region. It's a somewhat of a strike slip zone here, transform boundary. So we'll continue to watch this area. Like I say, it's been getting some movement off and on, and a little bit of activity there happening over in the Australia area. So it looks like this whole region here may want to adjust. Deeper activity once again there in the Fiji area, 4.9. This one coming in just after midnight, almost 400 miles deep there into the subduction zone region. That's pretty deep. Super deep earthquake there. About an hour or so later, some adjustment going on across the Vanuatu area following that deeper activity, which makes sense because that's a general movement of the stress here when we see deep earthquakes. Middle America Trench rocking a little bit over here, mostly from yesterday. Of course, there's that 5.4 into the northern edge here of the Middle America Trench, about 90 miles deep there. A couple other adjustments going on further south, so an overall regional strain event across this area. But not a whole lot newer activity today so far. There off the coast of Peru, we've got a 4.8. It's a little bit further down south here. That occurring about 22 miles deep here into this area of the subduction zone. The Peru-Chile Trench, that is. Handful of smaller quakes up and down the board there today. Let's see, did we forget the rest of the states up here? I think I skipped over these guys. A little earthquake out in Yellowstone. 1.1, nothing big going on. Oil fields out here getting hit once again. One little earthquake out in the New Madrid seismic zone from last night. But aside from that, pretty quiet out there for now. The Atlantic Ocean, all clear. Not a whole lot going on in terms of earthquake activity. Got one 3.2. It looks like that just came in here. Fairly recent quake. north of Iceland. So let's go see. Last night when we were looking at the earthquake activity, it was somewhat elevated across the Iceland area. Today, still a little bit, mainly across the general area here. Svartsengi region, the Blue Lagoon, and the power plant. A couple smaller quakes out here. Last night it was a little bit more active out here in this area of the craters, where we've seen the last couple eruptive fissure events take place there in Iceland. But let's see if we got any updates here from the Icelandic Met Office, which was, yeah, we do. Latest update put out today. Probability of magma flow and even an eruption continues to increase in the coming days. It's the same wording here, but again, no magic crystal ball. They're stating this statement because things are elevated. The volume of magma underneath this area has accumulated to a level seen, actually above the level seen, from our last eruption here a couple months ago. So we're at that level once again of inflation. So what happens when things get inflated? Well, we get the eruption activity here. Number of earthquakes are increasing per day slowly. According to model calculations here, enough pressure has built up in the system to trigger a new event in the coming days. So that's all we can do right now, is just kind of wait. It's a waiting game. All right, space weather activity. Things a little bit quieter here overnight. Not seeing any more M flare activity. A lot of C flare activity. Maybe a little low-grade M flare from yesterday. But generally somewhat quiet. Let's see what we got here on the sun right now. Quite a few active sunspot areas. Yeah, still kind of keeping an eye on this area back on the southeastern quadrant of the sun. That does look fairly active in terms of coverage and also complexity within this sunspot core. A couple other sunspots here as well, but yeah, it looks a little bit less active here in this region today. When you get that separation of the blues and the reds on each side here, that means that that it could be in a decaying stage in terms of complexity. So overall, though, we'll watch this area in general for some flaring. Just because it's quiet right now doesn't mean it's over completely. We got 25% chance here for X flare probability. M flare at 75, C flare around 99% chance or so. No major auroras in the forecast for now. Hurricane activity. Let's see what's going on with tropical storm Debbie. Goodness, holding in there. Maximum sustained winds there at about 40 miles per hour, moving east-northeast here at about 5 miles per hour, taking its time here. It's going to slowly venture out here off the ocean, off the coast here a little bit, and then head back inland for some further precipitation activity here. A lot of rain falling out in this area. Goodness. But it's going to be sticking around here for a little bit. Got a lot going on in terms of the rainfall out there. Wind, not so much. Got some big-time flash flooding concerns here across these areas. Big time. That's at least a 70% chance here in the purple. Kind of a light purple color. And in general, though, this whole area is dealing with a whole bunch of precipitation. Let's pull up the satellite image and see what this looks like. Yeah, just kind of sitting there. Area circulation right here, taking its time, getting all that convection pulling off the Atlantic Ocean here. And there's a lot of warm moisture to work with here, so that's going to continue to amplify while it's in this area and bring lots of rain to the region. Let's go check out the latest radar image, see what's going on over there. I mean, it obviously rain, right? We got a lot of rain coming in here. Just a big old blob of rain. I tell you what, it'd be nice to have just a fraction of some of this rain here in Northern California. It's hot and dry, and it's just it's summertime out here, unfortunately. Look at all these convective bands here. A lot of lightning, a lot of instability here with these stronger bands. Like I say, there's a lot of moisture here. It'd be different if this was all land. It wouldn't be able to strengthen. But in this position here, it's still got that inflow on the eastern edge that it can suck in all this moisture and continue to amplify bands ahead of it to the north here and just bring a lot of rainfall. Still looking at, some decent precipitation amounts out here across the eastern portion of the country. And, this isn't including what's already fallen. They're still looking at maybe in the next 5 days of seeing another foot of rain out here. So big time rainmaker out along the Carolinas. Out here in California, high and dry. It's going to be hot. It's supposed to be up around 105 today. I think we're going to be close to 110 tomorrow. In certain areas here where I live around Northern California, 107 just here around the Chico area. And there's really not a lot of cool down coming on or in the forecast. Let's see what we got. Massive high pressure out here across the west. That will amplify a little bit tomorrow, as I mentioned, Wednesday. And looks like a nice little cool down here for the northeast. These are going to be below average temperatures out here in the blue, above average in the orange, and somewhat neutral there in the white. Well, there's a little bit of blue out here come next week. A little bit of a cool down. It's nice. I'll take it. And after that, the orange tends to build back in, so that means a little bit warmer conditions out here. So I don't know about you guys, but I'm done with summer. I'm done with summer. I enjoy it for about a month, and then I want winter to come back in. I don't mind the cold, windy days. To me, it's not dreary. That's kind of I don't know. I get most of my motivation and energy from weather days that are nice and cool, got clouds in the air. Even if it's raining, I get my energy from the rain because it keeps everything green. But when it's 110, hot, and just miserable for weeks on end, it's a little depressing. Let me tell you guys. All right, let's see. Is there anything else major going on out here? I don't cover politics and all that stuff that's going on here in the world on this channel. Otherwise, it'd turn into an all-day update. But yeah, a lot going on in the world. Crazy stuff. Fires. Let's check out wildfires here. I seen the park fire blow up here yesterday. I think I took some video, but I didn't share it here on the channel. There's a big active region out here. Hold on a second. Let me refresh this. A big active area blew up yesterday and overnight, getting into a little bit more densely populated area of the park fire. Look how this is just going up, heading off towards the Chester area. That's Lake Almanor down here, Lassen Volcanic Park. That would not be good news if it gets into this area, because half of the park burned a couple years back there in the Dixie fire. So now if it gets up in here in Lassen National Park, the western edge, the entire park will be nothing but toothpicks of what used to be beautiful forests up there. And it's rapidly getting up there quickly. This is the satellite-based hotspot. I'm sure if I were to go out right now, I'd see some huge pyrocumulus clouds, because that's, wow. All other areas look fairly quiet in terms of it being picked up. As far as the coverage on this, we're looking at 34% containment, over 400,000 acres burned now with this fire, making it it's up there around one of the top fires here in California's history. And if it gets further up into this unburned area, it's going to be even bigger than that. May top out as the top fire. But I'm sure they're doing the best they can to get this under control. Not a whole lot of new fires out here in Northern California, which is good. Up into Oregon and whatnot. Man, how do all these fires start? They say lightning all over, so I guess lightning caused all these fires up here? All these individual fires. That's crazy. Looks like a big one up here. It just, nowhere is safe. Nowhere is safe out here. All right, folks, I'm out of here. I do have everything back up and running here far as the seismograph stations go. Like I say, the live stream went down twice now, very suspiciously within 2 days. So I reset everything. You know, it's good to clear out all your cookies and your network IP address and reset all that stuff just in case someone has easy access to it somehow. It's good to change those up, and hopefully eventually that they will get tired of having fun with somebody's computer. You know, it's I don't know. I find I still haven't found any reason why the stream would go down after this many years. You know, I've switched computers, I've hooked up security features, and it's someone pulling the plug here on the stream at some very suspicious times. But it's up, and I will continue to bring it up. That's one thing I won't do, is get tired of just, you know, it's annoying, but I'll always get the stream back up if it does go down. I like to keep this thing going 24/7, and it's been doing that. We've been doing that here for a few years now. Always providing, you know, a place for earthquake activity updates and anything else that's space, weather, or earth science related. Try to keep politics and everything else aside, out of here. So even if it goes down again, we'll continue to bring it back up. All right, let's see here. What else we got? I think that's about it, folks. Enjoy your Tuesday. We'll catch you guys back out here a little bit later on for the Tuesday night update, unless something major happens. Stay safe out there.